Welcome to final BSc Statistics students. Today we discuss in paper 6 in unit 2 first lesson 1 control charts for variables, in which before going to discuss the control charts for variables, I tell you one of the important topic: tools for statistical quality control. What are tools for statistical quality control? 1. Control charts for variables. Control charts for variables, which are X bar chart, R chart, S chart. This is small S chart. Second one, control charts for attributes. Attributes. It is categorized into two. One, fraction defective P chart. Two, NP chart. Number of defectives NP chart or D chart. These two are in one category, which are control chart for fraction defective, which comes under defective. Third one is number of defects per unit, C chart. Number of defects per unit, C chart. These are the control charts for attributes. The third one, it is acceptance sampling plan. Acceptance sampling plans. So these are the main statistical tools of statistical quality control. One, control chart for variables, X bar chart, R chart, S chart. Control charts for attributes, P chart, NP chart and C chart. These two are in one category, P chart and NP chart. For defectives, fraction defective, number of defectives. P chart is for fraction defective, NP chart is for number of defectives. Now another chart is number of defects per unit. This is a separate chart. Of course, it comes under control charts for attributes. Third one, acceptance sampling plans. Now we discuss control charts for variables. Control charts for variables. This is the today's topic. Control charts for variables. What are control charts for variables? Which means, what is the meaning? What is the definition? It depends on two particular measures. One, central tendency. Two, variability. These two are collectively known as control charts for variables. Any control chart which is constructed for central tendency or for variability, which are known as control charts for variables. What we do? Usually, what we have to consider, any kind of qualitative characteristics which are measurable quantitatively, then such kind of control charts are known as control charts for variables, for which we draw control charts for variables like X bar chart, R chart and S chart. Now you have to consider, we learn one by one. First one, control charts for mean, that is X bar chart. X bar chart. Leave this topic and come to X bar chart. What are the important steps in the construction of X bar chart? In X bar chart, 6 important steps we have in the construction of X bar chart. First point. What is the first point? Measurement. Measurement. What is this measurement? This is the common step which we have to consider in any construction of in any of the chart, either X bar chart, R chart, S chart, or any other chart. Measurement is the first particular step to consider to start the statistical quality control, to examine or to test a particular unit, testing or collecting the information, and based on that we have to give the certain results and useful interpretations to the organization, which is based on measurement. The first one is measurement. In this we have to remember one particular point, recollect the point already we have studied. The measurement in any particular production process is inherent in the variability, Any kind of taking the measurement has inherent variability, which means whatsoever the measurement we consider, it has some variance. Why? Whatever the measurement, for example, a kind of thing which if you want to measure it, to a particular item if you want to measure the diameter, even though the diameter is same, but if one particular person measures that, he will get some measurement. Another person, if another person measures, it may have some kind of variation. I am not specifying a complete variation. Some kind of variation may be observed. Similarly, any kind of reading, if you consider a particular reading, you will get some, and if I consider the same measurement, I get, you and I have definite variation. You and I have definite variation in measuring the in measuring the recordings, in recording the measurements. So therefore, we have to consider some particular error is going to be creep in the measurements. What kind of errors usually enters in the measuring some particular recordings? Use of the faulty instrument. If you use the faulty kind of instrument, then we can creep some kind of error. Lack of clear-cut definitions of qualitative characteristics. If definitions are not possible, not good, not clear, then obviously also you may get some kind of error. Method of taking measurements. In method of taking measurements, if you have any lack of clear-cut definitions, there as well you will get some particular error. Lack of experience in handling the instrument or using the instrument, there also may creep some kind of error. So these are the general elements. We will get some kind of error. So this is by taking care, we can avoid these kind of errors in the measurements. So in the measurement, what we have to, first point measurement, what we have to keep in our mind is that we have to, whenever or wherever the chance you have to get the error, that should be minimized. that should be minimized. Such kind of error to be minimized. Such kind of error to be minimized. So that is the first point. Second point, selection of samples or subgroups. Selection of samples, which are also noted as subgroups. How do you select a sample? In order to make the control chart analysis effective, it is very essential to concentrate on considering the rational subgroups, rational selection of samples or subgroups. What is meant by rational? Rational means you have to consider samples at regular intervals of time, consistently or rationally. You have to consider reasonably and rationally. Reasonably and rationally. You have to consider a particular sample. So it is very important to get the control chart analysis most effective. So that is the reason why we have to consider samples or subgroups rationally. Usually in the consideration, we consider in general 25 samples of size 4 or 20 samples of size 5, which means to get 100 sample units, which usually it is doing previously because of considering it is a very simple consideration for calculations. For calculation purpose, it is very easy. So, and samples also should be as minimum as possible. That is the reason why we consider 20 or 25. That is the second part, selection of samples. It must be rational. Selection of samples must be rational. And the third point, calculation of various measures like X bar, R, S for each and every subgroup or the sample. For all the samples, we have to calculate these measures X bar, R and S. Before that, in this particular point, I will tell you the measurement. What is measurement? We consider Xij. Xij is the measurement. Which are the measurements of jth unit. Jth unit. For example, there are j units, that is n units. J is equal to 1 to and so on n. For example, if there are n units in the ith sample, if there are n units Xij in the ith sample, how many number of samples are there? I is equal to 1, 2 and so on k. That is, n is the size of the each sample and k is the total number of samples. That is, k samples you have. K samples. We have k samples, in which in every sample we have n number of items. We have drawn n number of items for which Xij is the measurement. Xij is the measurement. Now we have to calculate sample means, sample ranges, sample standard deviations. What are sample means? We calculate first. Sample means. Now you see, this is the first sample for which you consider X bar 1 is the sample mean. And for second sample, X bar 2. And up to kth sample. For kth sample, X bar k, which are sample means for k different samples. And sample ranges. Sample ranges. Let it be R1, R2 and so on Rk. R1 is for first sample, R2 is for second sample and Rk is for kth sample, which are ranges. Now you specify similarly sample standard deviations. let you specify as S1, S2 and so on Sk, which are the sample values, sample standard deviation for sample observations. Now you have to calculate these values. You have to calculate means. The formula I am writing here, x bar I, the mean formula is nothing but we can calculate for ith sample mean, that is for ith sample observations, mean of the ith sample observations, 1 by n summation j is equal to 1 to n xij, which means it is the mean for xi1, xi2 and so on xin. Therefore, j is running summation j is equal to 1 to n xij divided by n. Total number of observations in the sample, ith sample, and all the samples the size is we are considering same, that is n. That is what I have given the example of 20 samples of size 5 or 25 samples of size 4. That is, in general we are considering the same number of units in a particular in all the samples. This is the formula of x bar I. And similarly Ri, for ith sample, what is the range? How do you calculate? Maximum of xij running on j minus minimum of xij, that is maximum value of xij minus minimum value of xij, and summation minimum among the values of j. We are among the values of j, that is j is equal to 1 to n, first unit, second unit, nth unit, out of which you have to consider one maximum value minus minimum value. You will get range Ri, ith sample. And similarly Si, instead of Si we calculate Si square and then we take square root. Formula is 1 by n summation j is equal to 1 to n xij minus x bar I, the whole square. This is usual formula of the mean, but you have to consider for the observations of xij in the ith sample, all the observations for xi1, xi2, xin, where you have n observations, therefore j is equal to 1 to n, summation j is equal to 1 to n of xij minus x bar I whole square, for which the sample mean is x bar I, therefore it is x bar I. And total number of observations in the sample is n. And the total number of observations in the sample is n. In any particular sample, it is n. Similarly, in the ith sample, it is n. We calculate Si by taking square root of Si square. Okay, which are all we calculate for ith samples. I is equal to 1, 2 and so on k, that is k samples. I is equal to 1, 2 and so on k, that is k samples. For k samples we have to calculate all these values. Then now we have to find out mean of these means, ranges, mean of these ranges, mean of these standard deviations, these standard deviations, which we will calculate by using the formula x double bar, mean of all means, which is calculated by 1 by k summation I is equal to 1 to k x bar I. We will have x bar 1, x bar 2 and so on x bar k. Therefore I is equal to 1 to k. I have written in the previous paper. X bar 1, x bar 2, x bar k. For these values, for all these means, we are calculating again overall mean, let it be x double bar, mean of all these ranges R1, R2, Rk. We are calculating R bar, mean of all the standard deviations. We are calculating S bar. Okay. So therefore, I am writing the formula now. X double bar is equal to 1 by k summation I is equal to 1 to k x bar I. X bar I. Now I consider, I calculate R bar. Is the formula of 1 by k summation I is equal to 1 to k Ri. Now mean of all ranges Ri's, I is equal to 1 to k. Mean of sample standard deviations 1 by k summation I is equal to 1 to k Si. These are the formulas of X double bar, average of all averages, average R bar, average of all ranges, sample ranges, S bar, average of all sample standard deviations. Whichever we calculate all sample measures, mean, range and standard deviation, we have to calculate. Again, mean, that is average for all sample means, for all sample ranges, for all sample standard deviation, which are denoted by X double bar, R bar and S bar. These are the formulas. This is the third point. Now we go for the fourth point. What is the fourth point? Point number 4. In the construction of X bar chart, setting of control limits. Setting of control limits. This is very important point. This is very important point. Now you see, in the setting of control limits, first of all, I define mu and sigma are, this is mean of the process, and sigma is standard deviation of the process, which means, which indicates standards of the process. What I am specifying from very first class of the SQC, that process has some particular standards. Here I am specifying the process mean is mu, process standard deviation is sigma. These are the two particular values regarding to the process, regarding to a particular process. Now come and discuss what are the control limits. Any control limits are going to be calculated for a statistic t. If the t is statistic, the control limits for this t is going to be calculated by expectation of t plus or minus 3 into standard error of t. Hope you understand. Expectation of t plus or minus 3 into standard error of t. You recollect the 3 sigma control limits, which are nothing but this. That is the reason why it is basis for Shewhart control charts. Basis for control charts is nothing but 3 sigma control limits, 3 sigma limits. Now you have to calculate 3 sigma limits for the X bar chart, that is for the statistic X bar. For X bar chart, which particular chart you want to calculate control limits, then you have to consider and calculate for those statistics. We have to calculate 3 sigma limits. Now here X bar is equal to t, that is t is equal to X bar. This is the formula. We have to consider, we have to calculate 3 sigma limits for this X bar. That means we have to calculate control limits, that is control limits for X bar chart. Control limits is also known as 3 sigma control limits for X bar chart. Because we are calculating it is for X bar chart, now you have to consider t is equal to X bar. That means the formula now becomes expectation of X bar plus or minus 3 into standard error of X bar. I am writing formulas directly because we know expectation of X bar and standard error of x bar. What is expectation of x bar? It is mu. What is standard error of x bar? Which means standard deviation of x bar, which are both are same in this context. Standard deviation of x bar is sigma by root n. Here mu and sigma are process mean and process standard deviation. Therefore, this is equal to mu plus or minus 3 into sigma by root n. Therefore, in our statistic SQC, this can be converted as mu plus or minus a sigma, where a is equal to 3 by root n, which will be obtained whenever I write some particular constant which are calculated, that is computed and tabulated. So from the tables of statistical quality control, that is statistical table, simply we can get the value of capital A. We can get the value of capital A for different values of n. That is, therefore now 3 sigma control limits for x bar chart are mu plus or minus a sigma. I already pointed out many number of times that control limits, 3 sigma control limits are nothing but only UCL and LCL. From this formula, we can only get UCL and LCL. CL is expectation of x bar. CL is only expectation of T or expectation of x bar in this x bar chart, in this contest. So therefore, UCL of, I am writing x bar, whichever the chart I indicate here. UCL of x bar is mu plus a sigma. It is very simple. You read with plus sign, you will get UCL. Similarly, you consider LCL of x bar. It is mu minus a sigma with minus sign. You consider this, you will get it. And similarly now, and then these are the two are the control limits. Now central line, remember it is not a control limit. It is expectation of x bar. It is mu. So based on these values, we have to calculate control limits. So the control limits for x bar chart in the usual notation is mu plus a sigma UCL, LCL is mu minus a sigma, and CL is mu. Now we have to consider two particular cases in the calculation of control limits, 3 sigma control limits. Case 1. What is case 1? Case 1 is the process mean and standard deviation are known. That is, standards of the process. If standards of the process are known, which means, that is, what are the standards of the process in this contest, in this case, mu and sigma. Therefore, that is mu and sigma are known. Then consider, specify as mu dash and sigma dash are known values of mu and sigma. If you consider mu and sigma are the known, mu dash and sigma dash are known values of mu and sigma, then in this case it's very simple. Again you recollect the formula. Then the control limits are UCL of x bar is equal to mu plus a sigma dash, that is mu dash plus a into sigma dash, and LCL of x bar is calculated by mu dash minus a into sigma dash, and central line CL of x bar is equal to mu dash. So this is simple, the case 1. What is case 1? If standards are known, standards of the process are known, are given, then mu and sigma square are known, then mu dash and sigma dash are known values of mu and sigma. In such a case, we have to consider, we have to calculate. You refer the previous control limits. What are control limits? Mu plus a sigma and mu minus a sigma, and central line is mu, UCL, LCL and CL. And if you consider and replace, then mu by mu, you replace mu by mu dash and sigma dash by sigma, then you will get UCL of x bar is equal to mu dash plus a sigma dash, and LCL of x bar is equal to mu dash minus a sigma dash, and CL of x bar is equal to mu dash. These are the control limits. Control limits if the standards are known. Now case 2, in which the standards of the process are not known, which means mu and sigma are not known. That is, process standards are not given. Standards of the process are not given. So in this case, what we have to do? We have to do the estimation. So now mu can be replaced. Mu is estimated by x double bar, that is average of all averages, all sample averages, average of all sample averages. But whereas sigma is going to be estimated, that is mu cron is equal to x double bar, whereas sigma is estimated by in two particular forms, in two particular ways. Sigma is estimated by either r bar by d2 or s bar by c2. There are two particular separate values, two estimations are there. We can use by using sample range or by using sample standard deviation, we can estimate sigma. How? I explain. From the distribution of range, range, expectation of r is equal to d2 sigma. This is a known value, from which expectation of r is I am writing as r bar. It is d2 sigma, which implies sigma is nothing but r bar by d2. It is r bar by d2. Sigma is equal to r bar by d2. Therefore, estimation sigma cron, if it is not known, sigma is not known, then we have to estimate it by r bar by d2. Similarly, you come over from the distribution of sample standard deviation. From the distribution of sample standard deviation. From the distribution of sample standard deviation, we know that expectation of S is equal to C2 sigma, which implies S bar is equal to C2 sigma, and which implies sigma is equal to S bar by C2. This is small s. Therefore, estimation of sigma is sigma cron is equal to S bar by C2. And D2 and C2 are the constants. You refer any kind of textbook, you can get the values. D2 and C2 are the constant observed and obtained from different values of n from the tables. Therefore, now we have to start. That is, whenever if we want to estimate sigma can be estimated with in two forms. Sigma may be estimated by r bar by d2 from the distribution of range, or s bar by c2 from the distribution of standard deviation. These are the two estimates, two kinds of estimates we use to estimate the sigma, the population standard deviation, here process standard deviation. Now here, therefore, now by using this we can have one particular case. I am writing case 1, that is mu is estimated by x double bar and sigma is estimated by r bar by d2. This is the first case. We can use s bar by c2 or r bar by d2. If we consider sigma is estimated by r bar by d2 and mu is estimated by x double bar, now we see the control limits. In each and every case we have to see the control limits, that is 3 sigma control limits. Now 3 sigma control limits, 3 sigma limits, that is control limits, which are obtained by 3 sigma control limits for x bar chart. Now for x bar chart are calculated by, what is the formula? Same formula, expectation of x bar plus or minus 3 into standard error of x bar. What is this? It is mu plus or minus 3 into sigma by root n. I am going to the original formula because sigma is not known. Therefore, I am replacing the formula. Mu should be estimated because not a known value. Plus or minus 3 into sigma is also not known, which we have to estimate sigma as well. Now you see, mu cron is estimated with the help of x double bar, and plus or minus 3 into sigma cron is going to be estimated with r bar by d2, that is r bar by d2 into root n, which can be written as x double bar plus or minus a2 r bar, where a2 is going to be considered as 3 by d2 into root n, which again calculated from different values of n from the statistical tables. So therefore, in which now I write in this case, I write all the control limits. UCL, first of all, UCL of x bar is equal to x double bar plus a2 r bar, and LCL of x bar, lower control limit, x double bar minus a2 r bar, and CL of x bar is equal to x double bar. Hope you understand. These are the control limits in a case where mu is estimated by x double bar and sigma is estimated by r bar by d2. Now in which the case 2, that is another case. In the case 2 again, in case 2 in which mu is estimated by x double bar and sigma is estimated by s bar by c2. From this now we have to calculate the control limits again the formula. Therefore 3 sigma control limits for x bar chart. How do you calculate this? Again the same formula, expectation of x bar plus or minus 3 into standard error of x bar. What is this? Is equivalent to be, it is mu plus or minus, this is 3 into sigma by root n. Why I am going to the formula? Because sigma is not known. So it's equivalent to be, it is to be estimated now, mu cron plus or minus 3 into sigma cron divided by root n. Now sigma cron, mu cron is estimated by x double bar, that is x double bar plus or minus 3 into sigma cron is to be estimated with s bar by c2. Therefore s bar by c2 into root n. Therefore now you consider this x double bar plus or minus a1 into s bar. Now what is a1? It is equivalent to be 3 by c2 into root n. For different values of n, these A1 values are calculated and tabulated, therefore we can obtain the values of A1 from statistical tables of SQC, statistical quality control tables. Now you see, now you have to write 3 sigma control limits for X bar chart, that is UCL, LCL and CL. I specify again, UCL and LCL are only the control limits. Therefore, UCL of X bar is equal to X double bar, what is plus with plus sign, yes, plus A1 S bar, and LCL of X bar is equal to X double bar minus A1 S bar, and CL of X bar is equal to X double bar. So these are the control limits of X bar chart. In the case mu is estimated with X double bar and sigma is estimated with S bar by C2. Hope you understand. And now I read all the control limits in all cases. Again, you refer case 1, standards are known, standards of the process are known, mu sigma, that is mu sigma are known. Then you specify mu dash and sigma dash. In this case, UCL of X bar is equal to mu dash plus A sigma dash. LCL of X bar is equal to mu dash minus A sigma dash. And CL of X bar is equal to mu dash. This is the case 1. If the standards of the process are known, this is the case. Now come to case 2. And mu and sigma are not known. This is the procedure we do usually, and then you come to that. There are 2 particular cases again, in which in 2 methods, you can consider 2 methods of estimation. Mu is estimated by X double bar and sigma is estimated by R bar by D2. Then the control limits are UCL of X bar is equal to X double bar plus A2 R bar. LCL of X bar is equal to X double bar minus A2 R bar, and CL of X bar is equal to X double bar. Come to second case, in which second method of estimation, if mu is estimated by X double bar and sigma is estimated by S bar by C2, in which case UCL of X bar is equal to X double bar plus A1 S bar, and LCL of X bar is equal to X double bar minus A1 S bar, and central line CL of X bar is equal to X double bar. So these are the control limits in all these cases. Now the fifth step, step 5. What is step 5? Construction of control chart. X bar, control chart X bar. How do you construct X bar chart? I draw and show. I draw one sample control chart. You consider one particular chart. On x-axis you consider sample number. That is sample number 1, sample number 2, sample number 3, 4, 5, etc. 20 or 25 samples usually you consider. On y-axis you consider here the sample mean X bar, which means X bar I, the values for ith sample. You have to consider here different sample means, different values you can obtain. And also you calculate UCL, LCL, CL. Based on any one of the cases we consider it and we have to calculate it. After finishing it, you have to draw a central line as a bold horizontal line. For example, this is the central line. And 2 other lines, LCL and UCL, you have to draw as dotted horizontal lines LCL of x bar, and UCL as well, some particular dotted horizontal line UCL of x bar, which will have some values is equal to some value, some particular value will be there. So based on this, now I explain. For example, the calculated sample mean of the first sample fall here. I make a point, and for the second sample, the point here, I draw another point. For third sample, the sample mean is this, I draw some particular value here. For fourth sample, the sample mean is this. For fifth sample, if the sample mean is somewhere here, and from sixth sample mean is somewhere here. For seventh sample, etc., etc. Then I have to join all the points like this. I have to join all the points like this. So you see here, this is x bar chart. This is known as x bar chart. If the sample means you have considered here, that is x bar I, the values have been considered here in a plot for different values of sample numbers for different samples. For different samples, if you have considered sample means and plotted a chart, that chart is known as x bar chart, in which you have to construct CL, LCL and UCL. CL is to be drawn as bold horizontal line. LCL and UCL are to be drawn as dotted horizontal lines. Now you refer theory, you can easily understand. Now you see here, if all the points formed like this are within LCL and UCL, then it is the process is said to be under statistically quality control. Okay, before that I stop the fifth point, construction of control chart. This is the construction. This is the construction of the construction of control chart. What we have to write? On x-axis we have to consider sample number. On y-axis you have to consider sample means, and then you have to calculate the values CL, LCL and UCL. And CL is going to be formed as bold horizontal line, and UCL and LCL are to be plotted as dotted horizontal lines like this. This is the construction of x bar chart, and then you have to plot all the points, sample means, consider sample mean and plot in the chart, which you will get this kind of picture. You join all the points, you will get this picture. So this is construction of control chart. Now interpretation. Sixth point is interpretation. Interpretation of x bar chart. X bar chart. Interpretation of x bar chart. For any kind of control chart, the interpretation is same. What is that? If all the sample points fall between the LCL and UCL. Now you see the figure, chart, control chart, x bar chart. Refer x bar chart. If all the points are between the UCL and LCL, which in this particular picture, in this x bar chart, all the points fall between UCL and LCL. Therefore, the process is under statistically quality control. If any of the points fall, for example, the third point, this is not the point, if this is the point, then you have to join these points. Okay, then the process is said to be out of statistical quality control. If a single point fall outside the control limits UCL and LCL, this is above UCL. Therefore, one point fall above UCL, therefore the process is said to be out of statistical quality control. Then there is an indication of presence of some assignable causes of variation. That is an indication of the process presents some kind of assignable causes of variation are present. We have to trace those assignable causes of variation, and we have to eliminate it. We have to identify certain assignable causes of variation, those assignable causes of variation, and we have to finally eliminate those assignable causes of variation to a great extent, so that our entire statistical quality control techniques will be more useful. Thank you.